Ramborough back with some Grand Tactician Civil War. We've got a Confederate States of America CSA campaign going here in 1.06, which is the current live version of the game. And we are in mid-February, and so we don't have too much of winter left. And then we'll get back into the 1862 campaigning season. That doesn't mean that things are quiet. Things have been going on in the winter. Billy Yank has been pretty active. If you're new to the channel, new to the series, and you'd like to see what's been happening in this campaign up till now, I will link a playlist at the end of this episode. Normally I start these episodes off and I have all kinds of things to talk about and mechanics and, you know, all kinds of stuff. Don't really have much of that today, so let's just get right into it. Just a real quick review of what's going on in the various theaters. Here out west, Sterling Price has just fought another battle. Here at Springfield, his opponent, which I think was the Army of Southwest Missouri, has already retreated, and he remains here on the defensive. And he has got just about all of his new troops here with him. I'll come back to this in a moment. Here in the west, the central, the near west, Joe Johnston remains here, just outside Louisville. Not really doing too much with him yet. I kind of want him to get some more rifles. But he does have all of his reinforcing troops as well. He's up to 9 infantry brigades. And things remain pretty quiet in Virginia. We know that there's 3 federal armies around here. There's one up here somewhere, probably at Frederick. With a total of, what is their troop numbers up to? There's 32,000 here with McClellan, and still 18. Okay, so we're looking at 50,000 still. That's remained pretty static between these two armies, and I think there's probably about 18 or 20,000 with McDowell, who should be up in this area. At very least, we haven't spotted McDowell anywhere else. And in these 3 armies, we are up to about 22, another 22, 44, 44, 50. We'll soon be up to a little over 60,000 troops here ourselves, which represents more than half of our total manpower. We've only got 106,000 in uniform now. But I think this is necessary to counterbalance what the Union has in Maryland. Our battle squadron still repairing at Norfolk. They're back at the green readiness, and I think all the ships are above 80%. So they will soon be ready to head down the coast. I've also formed a couple of new squadrons, one at Hampton and one down in Florida, and I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with those. They're made up of brigs. I may use them as preliminary raiding squadrons against blockading fleets. So I've got them named raiding squadrons right now. But I don't know if I'm going to do that. I don't know if the battle squadron really needs that kind of help. So I may use them as blockading forces up on the Union coast. And then currently, other than these few small Texas brigades that we've moved over under Bragg's command, along with their artillery, other than that, we don't have any newly recruited units in the recruit command at Atlanta. And it might stay that way for a while because We're now at BB plus for credit rating. I don't think I'm in a position to recruit that much more. May have to do something about that. In any case, let's get time rolling. Oh, right. Got a little bit of organization to do here. Here in Price's army, the idea was that so Stevenson and Hayes, these are the new brigades, but the purpose of Maury was to plus up Parsons' brigade. Someone had asked in a comment in an earlier episode, how do you combine brigades? Well, this is how you combine brigades. So I have two brigades here. We've got the Missouri State Guard 2nd Brigade, and then we've got Maury's brigade. And I recruited Maury's brigade specifically to provide more troops for Parsons' brigade. Okay, so you drag one brigade over the other, and the brigade that you drag is the reinforcing brigade. Okay, I want Parsons' brigade to remain, and I just want these guys in Parsons' brigade. So I take Maury's brigade and drag it over top of Parsons. That's how that goes. Now notice, Parsons' guys had 3 stars of experience, and there was only about 700 of them. Maury's brigade was new, therefore had 0 experience, and it averaged them together. So this is now a brigade with 1 star of experience, not 3. So there can be drawbacks to doing this sort of thing. And we're doing something similar over here. Clark has less than 800 men, and that's what Hardy's brigade was for. Same thing, 3 stars of experience here, and you know what? I'm not going to do it that way. Yeah, I am. Who am I kidding? And the same thing happened at 1 star. They've still got some experience. I'm not too bothered about that. And then Forney's only got, he's got less than 1,000 men, and that's what Frost's new brigade was for. And there we have it. Let me just fix this for a second. All right, there is Price's new Missouri Army. 9 infantry brigades. All of them should be well above 1,000 men apiece now. And yeah, he's got almost 20,000 men here. And he's still got 1 artillery battalion headed his way. It's going to take about a week. And also, somewhere, I don't remember exactly where, yeah, Stand Wady's Cherokee mounted rifles are also going to head to Price's army. They have not yet arrived yet at Fort Gibson, though. They've still got another couple of weeks, and then they will head over to join Price. Anyway, so that's how you combine units. And then, was there another army where I was doing something like this? I think there was. Yeah, it was here, this brigade under George Anderson, I think, is going to wind up being... No, that's not right. That's a little bit too big to combine. I'd lose a few troops doing that. I'm leaving that like it is. Quiet here. I think we're pretty close to getting some rifles into our armory. Let's check that. Credit rating popped back up to BBB minus. I think that BB plus may have just been a time needed to advance when I loaded the game. How much time on our Mississippis? Only 19 days away. That's good. And we've got 26,000 plains rifles now. That's fantastic. And then how much longer do we have on our... We've got more 24-pound howitzers coming. That's still a month and a half away. 3-inch ordnance rifles. Artillery. That's still almost 3 months away. Same thing for these wireds. How about our carbines? About 3 months. Okay. I've got a lot of plains rifles to hand out, so I'm going to put a quick cut in for that. Right, so that's been done. Just barely had enough, but we are now in the happy situation of all infantry in all 5 of our armies are now rifle armed. A lot of them are reboards. Not quite where we want to be, but at least no one's got muskets anymore in the 5 major armies. And we do have a whole bunch of Mississippis on the way too, so that's going to improve pretty soon. Here's somebody moving. Who's this? Army of the Tennessee, 5,500 men. He's headed somewhere. I had missed one of the gunboats way down the Mississippi. I'm just moving him up to a position. Kind of a little gap here. That's where Scout Ron 12 is coming. Keep an eye on this army. And these guys are all in blockade just because Evansville is a Union river port. They're just little gunboats. They're still only blocking it by 20%. And there he goes, building another supply depot. Army of the Southwest Missouri ran all the way back up into Kansas. How are we doing on projects? There's quite a few there. Aha! Yeah, there's a couple there. Been waiting on. Okay. I'll go ahead and take another level of railroad construction. And I don't think we're going to get a chance to get the 4th level because our railroad is going to build pretty soon. So I'm going to go ahead and take this level, and then I think it's time to just turn the politics subsidies off. I'm not particularly interested in any of these up here. So let's take a little bit of pressure off of our government budget that way. And also, we've got another level of trade deals, which is what I want the Diplo subsidies for. So I'm going to take that. I'm not going to do anything with industrial here. I'm waiting to put our industry subsidies into the next railroad, which should be pretty soon, in less than a month. Yeah. I think that does it for projects at this particular moment. Let's see how long we have left. I think we're working on... Still got a couple of weeks for Diplomacy 1. And that's going to boost our diplomatic subsidies toward those trade deals. But that is more money. We have 6 policies right now. And if I zero political subsidies, I think we still have enough for what we have right now, and then I'll just have to bump it up gradually to allow more policies. But for right now, that could be 0. How much did we save there? 10 million. Okay, so that's going to drop our subsidies here. That'll ease off our deficit just a little bit. Okay. Oh, Fort Monroe is repaired. That we captured a while back here. How's our fleet doing? Huntsville, 87%. I'm going to wait till they're all above 90%. That'll be just a few more days. This telegraph station is done. And the second engineer is not in supply. Any IIP ought to do. Frankly, I don't really know what to do with these guys anymore. He completed his task. Let's just move him on. Let's just move him up here close to these guys. And that way he can just be there and use his horse artillery. I'm kind of surprised he didn't get a perk there. And first engineers who do have a perk, obviously it would be the engineer and mechanic, although same thing, he's kind of outlived his purpose. But if I ever need to build anything, I don't want to lose that perk. Well, same thing, just have to go up here and hang out with Price, I guess. Or he's in supply. Just stay there. You're not costing much. Oh, we got an army visible here now. Is the Army of Indiana marching on us? 29,000. Yep, here he comes. All right. Well, episode hasn't been running too long. I think we can go ahead and fight a battle in this episode. Price up the green readiness. He's got all of his troopies. 29,000 against 19,000. We're in defensive mode. I think that'll be fine. Apparently I have one unit with poor morale. One brigade, total of 155 men. So that's got to be an artillery unit. I don't think that's a problem. Alright, I'm going to hop in, have a look at the map, deploy some guys, and I will be back for the... I don't know, what are we up to now? Like 58th Battle of Springfield. Alright. Okay, well, it is the Wilson Creek map, as it typically is in this part of Missouri. We are in a defensive situation. The objective is here, and the enemy is spawning in up here and coming right down the wire road. I don't see any other way for him to come. Got the Cav out here on the edge of the deployment zone so that he can monitor the Federals' advance, make sure they're going the way that we're expecting them to, and if they do something different, that we'll have time to respond. Looking at where he's coming from, where the objective is, it seems... I hate to use the word certain, but it is difficult for me to picture another route than to come down and cross Wilson Creek here, and then the direct route to the objective is right through here. So here's where Price is laid out. I've got Pierce's division in upgraded parapets guarding these crossings right here, which I think is where the Federals are going to want to come. However, the AI probably isn't going to attack directly into those. Sometimes they do, often they do not. And the next obvious route would be to try to flank and maybe come over this way. And so I've got Rain's division over here. Didn't quite have enough engineering points for more parapets. But we got some breastworks for a bit of defense over here. The artillery division is right here covering this area, and then if they need to orient this way, it's just a real short move for them. Pierce's divisional artillery is here also covering this area, and Rains has his battalion with his guys over here. Pillow's infantry I've got up here kind of in reserve. It's not that I expect them not to be needed, but more he's just in a position where he can orient himself to either direction. He's just kind of in wait and see mode to see where he's going to be needed. They'll be needed somewhere, I'm sure. So I think we've got everything covered as far as the AI's most likely routes. I don't think this is likely, but it is possible that Morrell, George Morrell is the Federal commander, could come down this track and cross Wilson Creek down here and come back up. There's a track here as well. That's a possibility. That seems an awful far detour for the game, for the computer-controlled armies. But it's a possibility. If that happens, then Cav will pick that up early. Well, the other thing he could do is he could turn down this track in order to use this route, and that would be fine. We're set up for that past the Manley house. Anyway, that's why the Cav is out here, just to keep an eye on what they're doing so that if they do something unexpected, that we can pick it up in time and reorient our position. If he were to come down to cross somewhere down here and then come up across Turwell Creek, then the plan would be for Rains' division and Pillow's division to march back this way and set up a defense here on this side of Turwell Creek. Turrell. Possibly using these fences as one part of the line. You get the idea. So even if we're caught a little bit off guard, there's a contingency plan. All right, so the Federals have a bit of marching to do, got a little bit of scouting to do, and I will be back. Okay, it is almost 6 p.m. So sunset, it's March. Sunset's going to come in just 4 minutes. Marmaduke and Fagan caught sight of the Federals, and sure enough, they are all making that left-hand turn and coming down this track. Okay, so this plan is already becoming obsolete. Not entirely, okay? They could still come down through here and take this path into the objective. They could. This part of our position still remains potentially relevant. That's not moving. But it already becomes pretty clear that whatever Morrell is going to do, Rains is not needed here. Okay, so this division is going to come back over here somewhere. Pillow's division probably needs to reorient somewhere. If they come down this way, then we've already got a good center here and plenty of guys in place for this flank, and then all we really need is Rains on this flank. If they continue further south, however, and come back up toward the objective this way, then we need a different position. And it's too early to say this is what we're going to do. But the position I think that I need my guys ready to go to is, I don't think I'm going to have very many engineering points, but we'll use this fence right here. We'll put one of the divisions along in here. Okay. And their left flank would be fairly well anchored by Wilson's Creek, which cannot be, I don't want to say can't be crossed, but is extremely, extremely slow to cross without a ford. It's slow enough with a ford. It's effectively barred, but anyway, pretty well anchored on this end, a line here, and then we can have another position facing this way along in here with artillery kind of in this area to deliver flanking fire at anyone approaching our fence line or coming up this road, and then infantry over in this area to keep the artillery safe. So this is kind of my fallback position, as I think I mentioned earlier. But for right now, we need to go into the nighttime overnight deployment phase, and we're not really going to learn anything new. But basically, I'm just going to get Rains kind of down in this area, and we'll go from there on the morning of day 2. Yeah, it's 7:30 in the morning on day 2, and they're not interested in this at all. They want no part of these parapets. They are continuing south, so it's extremely unlikely that they're going to stop in here and come straight in like this. That doesn't make much sense. I think they're going to continue down to this road, probably cross Wilson Creek down here, and then come back up, which is a pretty big detour for the AI. That's pretty interesting. All right. Lots more marching and scouting to do. Yeah, so the battle is starting to develop. There's starting to be a few shots fired. The lead elements of the Federals have come out over here. Got some skirmishers out here. Who is this? Rains? Pillow. Pillow's guys are constructing some breastworks here. And their position here mainly is just to keep the artillery safe. Artillery's back here. Banging away. Actually, this guy probably needs to scooch him in right here. I think that'll work. And Rains' division is marching forward to take up their position on this fence. Meanwhile, I've pulled Pierce's division off of the breastworks, or the parapets rather, which are kind of superfluous now, and they're coming to a reserve position right about in here. And Price needs to come up. That looks like a good spot for him, right about there. They're not really up in force. They've still got guys they still have units way back here, so this isn't going to develop real quick. Hopefully, we may get lucky and be able to kind of beat up some of these lead brigades before all these other fellas show up. But Marmaduke and Fagan over here have just watched the whole Federal Army come on past, and now I think I can bring him back this way. Actually, I think I'm going to take Lane's howitzers. I think I can put them right here. That may be a bad. You know what? I'm not doing that. Every time I do something like that, the artillery just gets wrecked. I don't think he's got a... That's not a good spot for him, though. Let's bring... There is kind of a slope here. I'm going to put him like right here, and then if it looks like that's going to be too hairy, I just need to keep an eye on that and bring him back. Meanwhile, let's reorient these skirms kind of about this way. Plains rifles, recently received. pretty good these guys can hit. It's pretty good range for those howitzers. I think they're getting a boost in their range from sitting up on this hill. Pretty nice. And they're far enough back that these brigades building their breastworks here are not obstructing their view. You know, if they were sitting right here, they wouldn't be able to fire because he'd be blocking their LOS. Back here, they're able to clear that. And the fact that they're howitzers probably helps with that as well. Higher trajectory. At least it should be. Oh no, these aren't howitzers. These are Napoleons. Yeah, I forgot I had brought those out of the forts. Nice. I think these are howitzers here though. He's still got pretty good range, just barely able to hit this fella. So he'll have this crossing in range once they start making their move. He's fine right where he is. Question is, do I have a decent arc for this artillery? Let's go ahead and move Pierce's division closer to here. Speed this along a little bit here. This is still kind of preliminary. Yeah, those extra 2 infantry brigades give us a lot more flexibility. We've got a 3 brigade front here. We've got a bunch of reserves. Even over here, we've got a reserve brigade, the Texas Germans. Clark and Stevenson still working on their breastworks. Oh, we need to make sure we wreck that horse artillery. They are. They're firing on the correct unit there. These skirms need to chase that artillery away. In fact, these guys aren't really gainfully employed at the moment either. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. They're making a proper attack now. It's starting to kind of look like Pillow's division over here may take the brunt of this. They're kind of coming... Maybe not. We'll see. Get these guys up here. We're be in this creek cover, but they're close enough to put fire on that crossing. Let's go ahead and give these don't understand what order did I give these guys. Don't understand that. But I'm going to give them a bombard order. Centered right on this crossing. If I don't mess it up. I think I just messed it up. Yeah. Bombard is finicky. That's not what I want. Cancel. Fire well. Alright, well, Lane's got targets. Stevenson, just back up a little bit. Just so I can get you in those breastworks properly. Same thing with Clark. They never quite get in them quite right. Skirmishers up here are hanging tough. In case the skirms can come in though before they break. Get Stevenson in here properly. Philip, come on up here with your guys so the order delays are faster. Stop. He's got some kind of crazy path going there. Probably some skirmishers. Yeah. Alright. Let's go ahead and bring Waitman's skirmishers back in. For ammo. Okay, now let's bring Stevenson back, since he's facing in the correct direction. I don't think Clark ever finished his breastwork, but he's getting some kind of cover there, so that's fine. Even with that brigade right in front of them, these artillery are still banging away. I wouldn't have thought that possible. Artillery's funny in this game. But sometimes it works out in your favor, too. A lot of times it's like, why can't he see that? Other times it's, well, I don't think they should be able to fire there, but they're firing, so it's cool. How are these boys here doing? They're doing great. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do with Pierce. Let's go ahead and form them into single line, and then I'm just going to put them right behind all the Rains guys. So we've got 3 divisions ready to just move up if needed. If if any of these guys ever need to be relieved on the fence. Let's change our facing here. So that's pretty far distance. That's definitely a rifle armed brigade there. Go ahead and pull those skirms in. And let's go ahead and pull these in too. Yep, pull these in. We're past the skirm stage here, I think. Dark's guys are still kind of banging away here. We'll let them sit in this creek a little bit longer. Yeah, just like that. I don't think they're going to be needed. I think this is going to hold over here very well. I think. The whole idea of having artillery here was to fire this direction. We'll keep these two battalions firing this way. I think this is going all right. Let's make sure none of these guys get flanked. Facing a little bit that way. Nope, I don't want that. Taking any fire? No, Lane's doing fine here. Waitman doing? He's lost 200 men, but 2nd Brigade here has lost 400, so that exchange is going fine. Overall, how are we doing? We're doing 2,200 to not quite 500. Yeah. All these armies bopping around in Missouri, that's the kind of casualty ratio that we need. Nice job so far, guys. Guys actually in canister range. They should be. They should be pouring canister into these guys. I hope. I'm not sure they are, though. I think if they were, that this cab would have broken already. Yeah, hey, move your... Quit showing your flank like that. You're pulling your dress up, letting your slip show. Well, he's just looking for a target. We'll tell you what. If we just ease you a little bit this way, you can help out with that other brigade without... let's do it that way. Yeah. Maybe? Well, he's kind of caught here where he can't really turn toward a specific target without showing his flank toward the other unit. Which really isn't that bad as long as he's not the target of the flanking fire. You know, well, he's helping out over here. That's fine. How are these skirms doing here? Man, these skirms are just kind of sitting down here like a snake in the grass, haven't taken a single casualty, and they're still banging away. I mean, he's got kind of some debuffs here for I'm flanked, I'm firing at guys in cover, but he hasn't taken any casualties, so keep at it. Yeah, Stevenson's taken very light casualties as well. His planes rifles are pretty good. The biggest drawback to them is very poor melee. You know, there's no bayonets. So you don't want the brigades with the planes rifles. You really don't want them charged. You don't want to be charging with them. And the planes rifle rate of fire is pretty low at 2.5. But it's got the standard 400-yard range of the other kind of standard rifles, but very good accuracy. So even though it's not particularly long-ranged, within that 400-yard range, it's accurate. And so more in a given volley, you know, more of the shots hit and do damage. So it's a good weapon. Okay. Let's see if we can. That's an attachment. So that's an artillery unit that's already been routed. That must have been that early horse artillery, and then some skirms or detachment has taken. How is this guy still here? And why is Pierce or Raines' division all weird looking? Yeah, you know what? Here. Get over here. Let's just back Waitman out of this. Well, okay, that guy broke. Alright. Pierce's guys. Let's just go ahead and push them forward. It's time for them to take up their fair share of the load. I don't want Waitman fighting anymore. $3,700 to 800. It's about, what is that? About 4.5 to 1. And we can start moving these guys forward. We want to keep these. Here's, I think these guys back here, I don't think they've even been engaged yet. I'm going to take the Texas Germans. I'm going to cross the creek way back here where they shouldn't get into any trouble doing that. Ease these howitzers up a little bit. No, let's not. Let's put some skirms out again. Specifically just to go deal with this little detachment here. Really looking to mix it up with all these fellas. I just want to continue doing casualties, continue on these units to the point where they formally start retreating. Really what I'm after here. Okay, Ross is getting across the creek. He is taking artillery fire. That sucks. Matter of fact, here. Let's get some skirms out. I'll try to move them around this way. We'll see if they're responsive. If I can get a click on them. No? There we go. That battery is starting to not really like his situation. Can't say I blame him. Okay, both of these brigades are still doing fine. Okay, those attachments have outlived their usefulness. Let's get some full brigade fire on that unit. Skirms anymore. So this is the part where you guys are actually supposed to fire on that artillery. Anytime. Anytime. Remember, it strikes your fancy. You guys are killing me. All three of them have got, quote, engaged status. I don't want engaged, I want firing. Do I need to move them a little bit just to kind of break their daydreaming? Looks like it. That might work. Okay, let's bring Ross up now. Here. I kind of want to keep them away from this creek. Even if they're not, this creek terrain, the brush, the muddy bogs, does extend out to their edges a little bit, and I think it might be a little bit further than what it looks like graphically on the ground. Okay, Ross is moving forward on the right flank. His skirmishers are pestering this artillery over here. This cavalry is starting to look a little bit more isolated now. You guys are killing me. It's because of their... No, they're at long range. Why aren't these guys shooting? Whenever these red or blue, if you're playing unit, whenever these kind of block indicators show on the map, then something's weird going on that I don't quite understand. I'm not trying to move them, I'm just trying to move them a little bit, hoping that it breaks whatever mode they're in and they actually start doing something. I mean, at least they're not taking casualties while they're futzing about there. Ross engaged. Come on, skirms. Keep chasing that artillery. Clark's doing fine there. I think he's just delivering unreturned fire. And Stevenson's doing well as also. Second Brigade, yeah, they've taken 1,000 casualties stuck down here in this creek, not able to fire back. They're tired. They're not going to last much longer. Okay, now these guys are actually earning their paychecks. Confederate government thanks you. Ooh. Stevenson's got a perk. Let's go with Iron Discipline. Let's just pause a second. Let's just go down the line, make sure no one's sitting here with a perk slot so I don't get fussed at in comments later. You missed a perk slot. Yeah, I think everyone's perked up. But artillery. Any of our artillery batteries got a perk? No. Okay, let the action resume. Move up a little bit closer. Not really going to push any farther because these brigades have all been unengaged. They're not routed. They're not tired. They haven't taken losses. And I'm not going to cross a creek right in front of that. We're just going to continue working on these guys, and then maybe we'll be able to flank them eventually. But I'm not crossing the creek up here right in their face. Come on, skirms. You're almost there. Take that artillery out. move Stevenson up a little bit just to keep these units under fire. A lot of these units are starting to move out of range. Well, the Napoleons are still banging away. Let's move this howitzer. Let's move Alexander up to that breastwork. Okay, that cav is wavering. Good. Right. Okay. So let's get Ross up here, start engaging this brigade that's made it across the creek, and let's have Clark cross the creek back here where he's not going to be doing it under fire. Aha! Nice job, skirms. You finally broke that. Artillery. Come over here and deliver some flanking fire on that infantry brigade. Well, Ross, why'd you stop moving there? Get up to about here. Okay. You guys saw me give the order to Clark, right? Didn't I do that? You know, I think it's because I didn't give them a bugle call order. I just clicked the little checky mark, but they're within sight of an enemy unit, so then they stop moving. That may be the reason, I'm not sure. I thought I gave Ross an advance order, though. Come on, keep these guys under fire. Stevenson's still firing at them. Good. Bring these guys under artillery fire. No. 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 Okay. As soon as Ross gets in position there, he ought to be within range to also be firing on 2nd Brigade. What are we out for? 5,400 to 800. They're still only at 17% though. This may wind up being a minor victory. And that's primarily because of all of these unengaged brigades over here. Yeah, see, he kind of lined up all on this axis. To prepare a general attack, but because some units were engaged, they never quite get into their positions, and that general attack never comes off. Okay, Clark is across the creek now. Let's just move Ross just a little bit to his right. Hopefully that's not too far and he's not going to get himself messed up. Pilla, you need to come up a little bit. Reduce the order delay. Then let's move Clark about like that. A little bit too close to that creek, but Alright, second brigade is broken. They're going to start retreating any second. And guess what? I did it again. Completely forgot about the... You know what? He may still have a chance. Come on, Marmaduke. Get down here to this road. Yep, I know. I'm going to get several comments on this. Deservedly so. Okay. Let's bring these skirms over here. Do we have any Mississippi armed brigades right in here? No, these are all reboard guys. I don't want to move Waitman up. Plains rifle. Parsons, how about you just come right over here and see if we can get you in a spot where you can shoot at that brigade without getting shot in return. Okay, let's move Clark up to about here. Not that far. I think he can shoot from a little further back. And let's put Saul Ross up about here. And meanwhile, let's get these skirms down in here to begin engaging this brigade. Oh wait, no, there's some more. There's some more artillery up here for you to mess with. I hate doing it, but let's just put Stevenson's guys right here. They'll get some creek, a little bit of creek cover there. Speed that up a little bit. There we go. Alright, tell you what. See if I can get the Cav to maybe charge these guys, these routed units. I don't know if that's going to work out or not. Nope, not getting charged. Oh my goodness. Stop that. Okay, those guys are wrecked. Where are you going? Just stop. Okay. So I've stopped your little merry-go-round there. Now, come over here. No, I got to turn him around first, otherwise he thinks he's retreating. Okay. Okay, come over here. Fine, yeah, go ahead and charge. Why? Sure. Can't get you to charge a unit. Maybe I can get you to charge a road. Oh, we're doing some kind of parade ground maneuvers here. Balling up, extending out, balling up again, get in position. Okay, now, you ready? Marmaduke, ready? Ready? Yeah, I was gonna I put him over there to come rejoin the army, and then I forgot he was over there again. Pretty much kind of in the same spot on the same map as the last time I forgot his existence. What is he doing? Okay. Alright, 6,000 casualties, minor victory. We took less than 800. $4,000 infantry, 2,000 cav, most of his guns. Those Napoleons were over there banging away the entire battle. They never got, you know, they always had shots, never got obstructed. So I'm pretty interested to see how Slack's division did. $400. Well, they did a lot of morale damage with their firing, no doubt. Pillow's division, 3,000. That makes sense. They were over there on the right. It was Clark and Stevenson and Sol Ross. They were heavily engaged all the way through. MSG 2nd Division, 2,000. These are the guys that were on the fence line. And then Pierce was mainly in reserve and was in position to do more if needed. Wasn't really needed. Alright, well that turned out pretty well, I think. And even with me repeatedly forgetting to get them in the action, the Cav is still the best division. They get a lot of XP from the scouting, too, so. Alright. Let's see if we got any decent weapons out of that, including artillery. We should capture quite a bit of artillery this time around. I hope. Okay, 3,500 infantry arms and 24 artillery. Okay. One of their guys got defamed. That makes sense. Army of Indiana, fleeing in panic. Let's have a look here. Nothing new here. That looks this. I was hoping to get a few more Hall carbines. Did not. That's about what we had before. That's just nothing new here. Nothing new here. Nothing's jumping out. Of all things, I think we may have actually picked up a few more plains rifles. And that may have been left over from what I had before. I don't know if those are captured or not. Yeah, nothing's jumping out at me. I think we must have captured like Springfield muskets and 6-pounder field guns. I don't see a big bump in any of these other weapons. Okay. Let's just do one quick little spin around the map, see if anything is shaping up somewhere. Not really. This guy was here. That guy was there. This guy was here. I think there's still an army sitting here at, what is that, Frankfurt. Gonna have to get Sidney Johnson into action soon. I don't think any of his units have even seen combat yet. Unless they picked it up from something on the map. Okay. 2nd Engineers, you're sitting right here by a supply depot. Why are you still taking attrition? Because you're making me move during the wintertime. He's got 2 sick dudes. Okay, well. Interestingly, I noticed this a while ago, but I don't know if I've ever mentioned it. Hospitals. You know, they're hospitals, they're medical facilities. Explicitly, they help return wounded to service, but I've never read a tooltip that spells out that they do anything to help out sick. Like right now, Magruder, he doesn't have any wounded, but he's got almost 1,000 sick dudes. The hospitals help that at all? And right there it says nearby hospitals reduce mortality of wounded, but it doesn't say anything about, I guess the docs are like, you're just sick. Not much I can do about it. How's our fleet doing? Provisions and ammo are good to go. And Huntsville's up to 89%. That's good enough. As soon as we come back for the next episode, because we are at the end of this one, the battle squadron is going to come on down here to North Carolina and start clearing this squadron away from Wilmington. Let's get this blockade lifted. And up here I notice we've improved again from BBB minus to BBB. That is encouraging. But that will do for this episode. I did want to mention one thing before ending. I think a lot of people who watch this channel, who enjoy this content, probably are familiar with another player who posts a lot of Grand Tactician gameplay on YouTube named Great Scots. And GS, his most recent episode in his current Confederate campaign, he's done something really cool with it. It's a little different. It's a different idea, and I found it pretty interesting. I'm not going to spoil what he's doing with it, other than to say, if you like this content, if you like Grand Tactician content, I think you'll like it. It's worth a watch. I'm going to link it here alongside the playlist for this series. Give it a watch. It's pretty cool. I liked it anyway. I think you will too. If you like what we're doing with the channel, you like the content, then leave a like, leave a comment, maybe even subscribe. But at any rate, thank you very, very much for watching. I appreciate it.